Alright guys, we are back after basically no time at all because there's a lot of information to go through that some of it wasn't even on the FEH channel, which is kind of weird, which, I mean, the remixes for the two characters, which are Ash and Xander, usually they talk about this on the actual FEH channel, which is weird that they didn't. But we have the information for them. We got top 20 overall for Choose Your Legends, which we're going to take a look at, and then we have the revival schedule for the characters. They're going to be doing legendary revivals now and stuff. So there's actually a lot to take in. And if you log into the game and you go to the bulletin board and you click on the FEH Channel supplement, the FEH Channel supplement actually has more information in it than the actual FEH Channel. And so it's more than a supplement. It's like a FEH Channel addendum, more like. But regardless, why don't we start things off here with the Xander and Ash remixes. So Legendary Xander is going to be getting Attack and Speed Excel, which is obviously very good. This is still one of the best A-slot passives, so it's nice that he's going to be picking that up. Okay, then he's getting Chivalry 2 as his boosted B skill. So enables Kanto Rem +1 with a min of 2. Reduce damage from attacks during combat and from AoEs by 50%. Inflicts attack speed, defense, and attack speed and defense -5 on the foe. Deals damage equal to X% of units attack, excluding on AoEs. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by X% of units attack, excluding AoEs. If foes' HP is over or equal to 50% at the start of combat, X is 25. Otherwise, X is 15. 25 is a lot. So he gets, let's see here, 25 points of bonus damage, or 25% of his attack as bonus damage, which is a lot, because he's going to probably have, like, upwards of 70 attack, like 80 attack, or whatever. So that, I mean, 80 divided by 4, that's like plus 20 points of attack. And then 20 flat DR as well. So that's pretty good. And grant special cooldown count -Y to unit before unit's first attack during combat, where Y is the number of spaces from starting to ending position, with a max of 3. And then also, if foe's HP is over 75% at the start of combat, however, value is treated as 3. So he's basically, the healthier his opponent is, the more his effects are going to be activating to their full potential. So that is very good. I forgot what his B skill did prior to this, what Chivalry did before. I think it was just like Kanto Rem and then attack speed and defense -5 on the foe, and maybe like one other thing. Like maybe DR, like flat DR or like pierceable DR or something. So, I mean, they added a ton of true damage and true DR on here, which is very good, obviously. And also the special cooldown jump, which is going to be good. So, Xander is seemingly going to end up becoming a pretty strong unit. Depends on what his weapon does, of course, but seems good. Okay, then we have Ash. Of course, Ash is obviously very important because her C skill was like the introduction of Guidance 4. So she's picking up Attack and Defense Spiked Wall, which is, I mean, that's definitely good. She came with Attack and Defense Bulwark 3. So they just straight up upgraded it to the Tier 5 variant, which is nice. So we already know what that does. It's a very good B skill. And then Open Retainer Plus. So allies in 2 spaces can move to any space in 2 spaces a unit. For allies in 3 spaces a unit, grants all stats of 5 and nullify foes' bonuses during combat. And also, when ally deals damage to a foe in their combat, recovers 7 HP. That's actually really good. Because it's every hit that you land on the enemy, you're just going to recover 7 HP. That's very good for sustain, for like Omni tanks that have Brave on the enemy phase. That's going to be a really strong support. And then also, if unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants all stats of 5, nullify foes' bonuses, and reduce percentage of foes' non-special DR by half. And also, when unit deals damage to the foe, recover 7 HP. So, basically, it's just like Guidance 4 and Soaring Guidance on crack, which is obviously very good. Her weapon is going to have to end up being really good, too. But if you remember when Ash first released, like, she was a really good frontliner due to her bulk. And then you could just warp in with allies that are safely hiding behind her. So, if her weapon gets, like, a ton of true DR and stuff like that, she could end up being a really nice frontline warp beacon for your other allies. So that's looking pretty good. All right, so there we go for the remixes. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at this. People are already in tears about Balder being in second place for the women. But I think there's actually something more interesting to talk about here, which is the fact that if we take a look at this... Okay, I tried to raise the size of that, but it didn't work. So, if you'll notice here, Ector Deer in first place for the men, he's got 15,000 votes. Byleth in second place for the men, he had 14,000. Both the first place and second place male actually had way more votes than both of the females, which I think this is the first time that's ever happened, where the men just got way more support than the women. So, I mean, there you go. The males actually ate this time for some reason. All right, then we had Sigurd in third place, Fomortis in fourth place, Sylvain in fifth. So the Twitter predictions were actually pretty close. Not completely spot on, but they were generally close. Then we got Burger King at 6th, Diamant at 7th, Leaf at 8th, Itsuki at 9th, and then Yuri at 10th. So those are the top 10, and then we can go further for top 20. R.I.P. Corin Mail at number 11. At least he did better than Alir, though. Then we got Toma in 13th, Takumi in 14th, Leon in 15th. That's a really huge gap between him and Fomortis. So that's pretty interesting. And then we got Male Shez, we got Alchrist, Ash, Leo, and Reinhardt cracking top 20, which is pretty cool. But he has by far the lowest votes here. So if we take a look, Sigurd really didn't have much of a chance of beating Byleth, unfortunately. And it's really a shame, too, because I would have much rather had Sigurd win over Byleth. If I could change, like, one thing about this vote for Choose Your Legends, that would be the thing I would change. Like, swap Byleth and Sigurd. But I'm very surprised Sylvain got that far. But if we realistically look at that, like, Fomortis, the drop-off from Fomortis to Sylvain is almost, like, double the votes. Yeah, 5,600 all the way up to over 9,000, literally. So, yeah, Fomortis is over 9,000, man. That's a joke in and of itself. But you get what I'm trying to say, though, right? Like, really, these top 4 were the only ones that seemed to have a chance. All right, so for the women, if 100... How many more people would have had to vote for Balder for her to come in first place? Not that many. Relative to, like, what we've been seeing here on these votes. I'm surprised Azura's in third, by the way. Azura beat Ivy. That's kind of a shock. I thought Ivy would have been in second or third, but it looks like no. Azura's in third. So the Azura fans almost got there. Had it not been for Balder, they would have made it. This would have been their year. So, I mean, that's like... similar to what happened to Bernadetta when Gulveig beat her. I think that's about to happen to Azura. So predict Azura to be in first place next year for the women. I guarantee you it's going to happen. Because there's no way they're going to take this lightly. The Azura fans, they're just going to shoehorn her all the way up to first. But yeah, Balder was not far behind Sharena at all. It's a very minor differential in votes here. So in a different world, Balder could have actually came in first place here, which would have caused even more baby raging and crying and tears. But it's just, it's very funny to me. Like, this I find very funny. Okay, so Ivy's in fourth, Tsubasa's in fifth, Yunaka is in sixth. You got Female Alir in seventh, Hilda in eighth, Darja in ninth. Which I think the Twitter polling had Darja a little bit higher than this. So, I mean, this is where I would expect Darja to fall, like, far out of top 5. All right, then we got Freya in 10th. Freya has been in 10th, like, for 10 Choose Your Legends straight. No, not 10, obviously, because we're on 9, but you get what I'm trying to say. All right, then we got Dorothea Hoder in 12th. So, for some reason, people just really love Balder, and they really don't love Hoder in that same vein. I don't know why. I think Hoder is the better of the two. All right, we got Elincia in 13th, Vale in 14th, Mia in 15th, Female Shez in 16th, Lapis in 17th, then Nino, Lilina, and Sheeta. Dude, Nino and Lilina are like the real head scratchers. I don't know why they're even here, but I mean, okay. So yeah, there we go for everything related to Choose Your Legends. It's going to be a very funny time when we end up getting Balder for Brave 9. All right, and then, of course, we have this. Do we really need to go over this too much? They're doing revivals for, like, all the characters that end up getting demoted, which all these characters, by the way, are going to end up on the Arena Vote banner, or the Arena Ticket banner, which is good, because there are quite a lot here. If you want to, like, go through this in detail, I'm not really going to go through it in big detail. You can just quickly go in the bulletin board in-game and check the FEH Channel's FEH Channel supplement section, and they're going to have all this information there for you to look at. But yeah, a lot of these characters are just being demoted for the first time, like Ymir and Ascended Celica and so on and so forth. Like over here, Galzus, Arthur, August, like those guys are being put on revivals for the first time. Seliph, which is Brave Seliph, very good, obviously. Brave Byleth. Like, these are some good units, man. Like, some of these heroes are actually legitimately runnable. Like Ymir, for example, Brave Crom, Brave Seliph. You can definitely get some mileage out of them. So, it may not be a bad idea to try to target them, at least with your tickets on the Arena banner, if you're trying to get them. And that's basically everything. There's not really much else to cover, unless we want to take a look at people crying over Baldur, or... I mean, even this, like, people are crying over him, too. Byleth, people didn't want him. And I can see why. It's been... Ever since Three Houses came out, there has been a Three Houses representative in every single Choose Your Legends. It's just inevitable. Three Houses is inevitable. So that's going to wrap us up for this one, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed the coverage. Interesting that we have the remix passives, but we don't have the refines, though. We don't know which batch of characters are getting refined yet. That's probably going to come with the update notification at reset. So I'm probably going to have to double dip and do a video covering that so we can see who's getting the refines. But yeah, there you guys go. Hope y'all enjoyed this coverage, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.